Let's keep moving. I gotta keep moving. I want to make sure we stay on schedule here. The Rise kit. I have to say, I was nervous when I was told by a friend of mine that there was a new secondary coming. You said it was bland. You s Comparatively, I'm putting Bella on this.
I
This is not bland to me. I really like enjoyed seeing this kit. And like I feel like it's simplistic, but it does enough to not be boring. Like
yeah.
I'm gonna say it. I didn't like last year's secondary. Didn't like
Yeah,
it. Thought it
it
was
was a
kind of
gradient
like
template. It was like the same one everyone had.
I just didn't like it. Um this one to see the sort of sun ideal, about rising over the Cascade, like the details get me all excited because you talk about mountains and shit, and that's what we're here for. Well, not here for, but this is what this came from, right? About how the Rise kit is supposed to mirror the Pacific Northwest sun rising over the Cascades, illuminating the beauty of the Salish Sea and Olympic Mountains. I'm fucking sold. Like, let's go. Um, so that's really cool to see this. The media day stuff they did, thanks to Jordan Heidema, because she does these day in the lives now, and she took us into her experience where they had like, there's these photos where they have them sitting on the crossbar, and I'm like, oh, okay. Um, I'll get to the more important stuff. The Don't feature the Black Future Co-op Fund as the front of jersey sponsor, um, which is interesting. They're continuing their search for the right partners. So obviously, before match one, I'm imagining they'll have something there. Like, do they not have to?
There's no requirement to have a front of jersey sponsor. I believe they
Okay.
played all of last season without a front of jersey sponsor, unless I'm mistaken.
I swear they had the Black Coop. I thought they had the Black Future Forward Fund. I just
I don't
said,
think they've
am
I don't think they've had that since Rapinoe's last season.
I wrong? No, they
Um,
did. Yeah, they did.
okay.
Okay.
So
You had
maybe
me
they
scared there. I thought I was losing my mind more than I know I am.
yeah,
Um,
but there is no
okay.
requirement, and it
Interesting.
certainly is a large monetary loss for the club.
Yeah.
Because front
So,
of jersey sponsors are a huge source of income for them. Um, and so it is interesting that, I mean, the search has been ongoing for kind of like 2 years at this point.
yeah. Well, because I feel
Um,
like they brought the Black Future Co-op Fund back kind of last minute last year.
yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. Like, why did it take this long? Like, were you looking for someone else?
Yeah.
Um,
And I believe their goal is to help Black Future Co-op Fund raise money. So I don't believe they're getting any money from Black Future Co-op Fund. It's supposed to benefit the Black Future Co-op Fund, not the
yeah.
other way around.
So Bella was basically reading what I was going to read. The
Sorry.
Reign will continue their partnership with that Washington nonprofit, donating a minimum of $10,000 from the first 30 days of jersey sales to the Black Future Co-op Fund. They're also launching a Rise Purpose platform alongside this new jersey, which will work to advance three commitments. All right, count with me, okay? Advance equity for all in play and life. That's very general. Protect the Salish Sea. Hell yeah, brother. And then champion and affirm the power of girls, women, and gender diverse people. I can get the fuck behind that. Sorry, I'm starting to just lose it. Um, so that's really cool. It does seem like there's a lot more purpose behind this kit, which I really do like. Um, it's nice. It's really cool to be in this city that has a lot of really good kits, up and down, whether it's the pro teams, and then you go to like the Salmon Bay. Like there's a lot of good stuff going on around here. Um, so uh I don't we haven't gotten this, so I'll probably have to edit this in later. That this part of the episode is me and nope, I almost called you Brittany Davis. You are not Brittany Davis.
No.
You don't have musical talent like that. I'm sorry.
I actually do have
Um,
musical talent, but I am not blind nor black.
I don't think you've got her talent.
I didn't say I have her talent. I said I have some musical talent. Okay. I did choir for like
Oh, yes.
years.
Bella criticizes so many of the anthems we hear. Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
And rightfully so.
Um, yeah. So there was this cool event that a bunch of season ticket holders and some of the media got to be at KXP, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" Um, and the rain. By the time that this is out, we'll schedule it for like 5 minutes after. Um, the club is announcing a new anthem called Stand Up. It's written produced by local artist Brittany Davis, who you will remember for performing at his halftime, right? At Megan Rapinoe's jersey retirement match. And it was really cool to me at the event, and I think in the short film, there's a short film that accompanies this anthem, directed by award-winning filmmaker Jason Berg, who worked with some pretty important people. I was like, oh, okay, so he's not just some random man that we found. Like, I'm glad that that's the case. Um, Brittany Davis mentioned that Megan like made an effort to like include her in things. And like I think they ate together and she said, "Oh, you're part of our she said tribe and I was like, "Oh, Megan would say something like that. Like of course she would. So that was really cool to hear about, but if you don't know who Brittany Davis is and you're not aware of what the hell I'm talking about, she's a black, blind, and queer artist from the Seattle area. Um, she had a moving rendition of Rise Up by Andra Day, sorry, not Andrea, um, at the halftime performance in collaboration with Sonic Guild. So that was really cool. Usually I just ignore whatever is happening at halftime because it's like, they don't do too much at halftime usually, unless I'm forgetting something. Um,
Bubble
but it
soccer.
was, hmm?
Mostly bubble soccer.
Yeah, okay. I was like, usually it's bubble soccer. Um, it was really cool, this whole anthem. I was a little nervous because infamously, especially in Seattle, American soccer chants and songs don't go very well or they're heavily criticized. The video from way early in the Sounders MLS inception of the fight and win is heavily criticized by European and international soccer fans, understandably so. So it's like kind of beat up because I put it in my bag. When I saw a club anthem, I said, "Oh God, what are we doing?" Um, when I learned it was Brittany Davis, I felt better. Uh, and it's pretty decent. I mean, pretty decent lowly. I've really enjoyed the beat. The chant aspect is nice. You want to have something to chant along to. If it's too long and complicated, usually Americans can't take care of it very well. Um, And the cool thing is about the recording of the song is that it features some of the Rain players, Hannah Glass, Ryan Brown, Anna Maria Sornogorcevic, and Angrad James Turner, as well as some of the members of the Rain Academy are included in this. Children, quite literally children. Um, they got the Royal Guard and the Rain City Riot involved, Soundwave, the Sounders Band. Um, it's really cool. I remember we got to talk to Hannah Glass at this event. I asked her, I said, "So did you ever think you would be adding some musical talent to your resume when you came to Seattle?" And she kind of point blank said, "No, that was not at all what I thought I'd be doing." So that was really cool. Berg is interesting. He came from Los Angeles to Seattle to direct this. It's a short film. I'm gonna edit in here somewhere. It was put together really well. It was really cool to kind of watch the whole process, um, to see kind of the whole thing about it. When asked about the film, because it's like a short documentary, right? He said he just kind of likes to be in the background and capture it that way. And you can tell when you're watching it because they're in the fact that some of the first few frames are them driving around in a car with Brittany Davis, and it looks like he's like squished down into the corner of the seat. I'm like, yeah, bro, you are very much out of the way. Um, yeah, and so this is the anthem's gonna be part of this new tradition. Um, starting on, I think it's every home match when the club comes out, starting on March 15th with the home opener, as it takes out as the official walkout song. They want it to be a new tradition that deepens the connection between players, supporters, amplifying the club's identity on match day. So I say all this. I think I'm gonna put it in right now. I'm gonna pause to put this in right here.
As a blind person, I'm still learning how to navigate the visual. That's why music is so important to me. I see music as little stacks of bubble gum. And each one of the stacks have a height, and each one of them have a different color. All of these stacks of bubblegum pieces in my mind, they all supposed to go in a certain order. That's how I create full canvased paintings of sound. I'm trying to paint something. I remember growing up, I didn't feel like I had a beat or a rhythm that connected with anybody else's. That's what drove me to Seattle. Here, I would find what it means to be home. That's the story I wanted to tell with this song. I want it to be too bright for you to look at, so you stop looking and you listen. I want you to turn your eyes off when you listen to my music. When I was at that game, and I saw what Megan stood for and how her comrades came to support her, I don't know how to explain how I felt. Those words are not English yet. I know how to say them, I do, but not in English. It would be in music. It felt like something just picked up my whole heart and sent it past the moon. When I seen those ladies get out there and I heard that horn go off and I heard Rise Up over the loudspeakers, I could have melted. I felt like everybody in that stadium was important to those ladies out there. I felt the power. These experiences with this team have changed me. Oh, this sounds like big trailers. When I was invited to embark on this journey, what really hit me was I wanted it to be something that developed just like our city did. I was thinking if I could keep it big energy, but low key, or even familiar like home. And then that's the story I wanted to tell. How people have experienced this city and how people have experienced each other here. And how the community gathers around the Seattle Reign.
Tight, drums.
When I see how people love this team, how they love each other, how they respect each other, how they value each other, it takes big rain energy to another level. That energy is this song. You know what I'm saying? It's big. It's better to be too big than too small. This song is called Stand Up because last time I did Rise Up. So we're saying that stand up is what you do after you rise. It's that I'm here energy. It's show up energy. Powerhouse energy. Champion energy. You can't buy this in the store.
I think what's so special about our community and our fan base and people who follow us is we haven't been a straightforward, easy team to follow.
Utah gets the opener! Ball still loose! Ball in the back of the net!
We've really asked a lot of our community and our people to stay with us and stick with us, and they have. We're obviously coming off last year, which was a tough year for this club, but I think we need to build on it because there were really good things.
The locker room was intact. The community was still supporting and behind. The fans still supported and behind, and that looked very joyful to be a part of. And I'm hopeful that we can get the rowdiness up because I think this community deserves something really exciting and something to be proud of.
I think you can feel it in the air. You can feel it at practice every day. You can feel it in how much work everybody is putting in.
We want to get back to being successful, not just getting playoffs. We want to get the Shield. We want to get the championship.
There's something new coming. There's a new wave, and I'm just really excited.
Oh, 3, 4. It's not always about being perfect. Sometimes it's about being connected. Oh, see there? That's it. That's it. See, y'all already pros. Which is why I'm building all these call and responses so that anybody can get in. So what you're gonna hear is everywhere we go, and you just, whatever they say, you say it right back.
Everywhere we go.
This is about the community. This is not about how produced we can get this thing. That's what I was feeling. I was like, man, I want to be a kid again. Like, I want to be free again. Like, I want to feel alive again. And that's what this song kind of represents.
Rise up.
That's why we're bringing in different players. Because I really want the heartbeat of the team. There it is. And the heartbeat of their fans, friends, family. Rise up. To really go into the bigness of this song. It's not just about who we're celebrating, but how. Now we're gonna take the stand we deserve to take. That's the beat. No! This is our rally cry. This is our battle cry. Oh, that's nice. Hey, never drown going under. We ain't rain, bring the thunder. We ain't stopping, we ain't going down. We about to be the coldest town. It's about to go hard. I'm telling you, I'm not playing. I'm not playing, baby. Come on. I love the beat.
When you have ownership of something and when it's so uniquely yours, you have a sense of pride over it. This is a song that's made just for us. It's a song that embodies the community, us as a team. I think everybody's just super excited to get out there and hear it every single game day.
I want the people who hear this song to feel alive. I want them to feel like their hearts and who they are is connected to the birth of this song because that's the truth. And on game day, when that song pops on and they hear that clap, that stomp, that boom, I want them to feel like a tribe. One house, one stadium, one Seattle. I want them to feel like they are accepted. And now that you're here, that's it right there. We're gonna celebrate you.
Turn it up, turn it up. This ain't a friendly, okay? Locked in, run the match, let's play.
No.
I just like, and I know we talked about this in the original segment, Bella, but especially with resources, but it's cool to have like this dedicated to the club. It's its own thing. It's not this joint venture where the Sounders are included too, right? They're not gonna play that there. I know so often I think we got used to the same song playing, like the do do do, and I'm like, all right, like, or at least in the years past, it was the and I was like, all right, like, let's just come out and hear Bella criticize the anthem, and then we can get going. Um, So I don't know. And then in the Shaney days, they used to play like nap time songs when the away team would get introduced. It was a lot. So it's all that to say that we've taken a jump up, right, in the production, and like you said in the segment itself with the kit and this, like there were so many times it was like a handful of really hardworking people. It's not to put them down at all, but women's sports so often is understaffed, right? And so to see that they're putting in the effort, you've got these people who are part of it, all these people who seem to be with the club, and I'm like, I'm in KHB, I'm like, who are you? Like, because I usually know who the hell is there. Um, yeah, I guess I want to hear like your experience at the event, hearing from the players involved, hearing from Brittany Davis, because she's a character. She's great. It would have been fun to just like kind of hang around and hear her speak and hear her thoughts on it because I remember she also mentioned she wanted to be in the room when the players recorded and when the academy players recorded. It wasn't just, hey, record your piece and then I'll come in. So I just like I want your experience thoughts on the event and then your feelings generally on the fact that we've got a whole mini doc on an anthem, two things we wouldn't have had like under OL.
Yeah, I think the event was, first of all, it was just kind of nice to see all of the players, or at least the ones who weren't on international duty, um, with the club. It was great to see the jersey in person. That was something I had wanted to say earlier. It looks nice in pictures, but in person it looked very nice. Like I was very happy. It looks like something that you can wear around with a pair of jeans and it looks nice. Um, it was a nice atmosphere they had set up. Um, and I think, the documentary I actually I quite enjoyed. I love a good short documentary. And I mean, I think part of why it works so well is because Brittany is such a wonderful character. She is very funny, very um self-aware and open and kind and friendly and talked a lot about community and inclusivity, and I think there's so much of that comes through when you're talking to her and when you're watching the documentary. Um, it was also, you got some nice clips in there from like Lynn Biondolo talking about why she wanted to be at the club, Jess talking about sort of the values of the club, Emery in there too. Um, and it was just a nice thing to see. I think we've seen more content in general from them this season than we have in previous seasons. I think they kind of bumped it up last season, but I think we've seen even more so far this year. And that had been an area that was lacking in the past. So just having another thing where you get to see player personalities, I think is always great. And I was quite blown away when Brittany originally performed at Megan's jersey retirement ceremony. I thought she was brilliant. I thought the song was really good, and I think, you have to have a certain charisma and presence to be a good performer, and she has it in spades. Like, it is so clear, and you can feel her intentionality behind the song. And I almost feel like the documentary captured more of the club aspect than um it captured her song making process, which I thought was really interesting. um, Particularly as a blind artist using like a computer to mix tracks and stuff. Like you can hear that her keys essentially speak, um, so that when she hits a key, the computer says what it is. And you would think that would be make it difficult to produce a song, but clearly she has no problems. Or not, I don't want to say that, but she is very capable. And I think for in terms of the song, bless you. Um, in terms of the song itself, I think it's really fun. I love a good horn. Um, and I think it has a really strong beat where people should actually be able to pick it up. I think um, the way that they've sort of included the fans and made it simple enough to understand is great. And I can certainly, see listening to it and getting really hyped. I was a little surprised that there wasn't like a dramatic key change or something at the end where it got a little bit more intense. Um, but I don't know if that's sort of a thing about anthems, to be honest. Like that's where I'm like, I don't really know what I'm talking about. Um, but I think the the lyrics are good. Britney's sort of rap sections make you kind of like, I mean, really the whole song makes you want to stomp your feet and clap your hands, and that is exactly what you're supposed to do. So I think, I just think it's great. I just love seeing this club get investment. And I also love seeing them throughout that investment continuing to stay strong to their values. They very easily could have been like, "Hey, Macklemore, can you make an anthem or something?" And it just be like another white guy doing whatever. And they really, stuck to their values of inclusivity and community building and finding people who had already been involved with the club in some capacity. Like, not just, hey, we're going to pay this person who doesn't really care about soccer or show up or know anything about this club to make a thing. They picked someone who talked about how transformative and, you know, beautiful the experience of performing at Megan's jersey retirement ceremony was. Like she talked about basically being there and being like, oh, this is something I want to be involved with. Like I love this feeling. Like she couldn't even really describe it in words. And it's just wonderful to see.
Yeah, I mean that was the thing. I like that you mentioned that. I love a good horn. Like it's pretty good. Yeah, again, I had my concerns going into this. I was like, oh boy. Like when I found out this was an event for an anthem, I was like, what are we doing? Why? But then you think about it and you know the artist and you hear about how they had this experience with the club and how they enjoyed it and um to just make it more unique, because all of these teams around this area have little things that make them unique, right? And obviously the Reign are trying to get, as mentioned, and you touched on it, like with the part with Lynn, but I looked at the piece with Jess where she says we haven't been an easy club to follow along with, and then they go straight to the Utah match, and I got flashbacks. Ugh. Um, yeah, man. I mean, it's cool. It's really cool, especially considering, the person that Brittany is, the fact that the players are tied into it. Um, you know, like it's nice to have, talk about the investment. So, no, I mean, it's cool. It was nice to have that event, as you mentioned, see the kit in person, because a lot of the times, when p fans, I think, react to a kit, they just go off of the studio shots they get of it, which might not be the most realistic reflections of it, like how they've got it like I'm specifically thinking of the one photo of the new kit where it's like contorted this way, and I'm like, hmm, hmm. And especially not to talk about men, unfortunately, but
Done. Done.
when the Sounders secondary kits or with the artist kits they've done, right, with Jimi Hendrix, and then they did the Bruce Lee kit. People initially like, why the hell the Sounders don't wear purple? Or with the Bruce Lee kid, the Sounders don't wear red. Like, calm the fuck down, and I need you to see the thought and the intentionality and the message behind it.
The Orlando Pride had a pink primary kit when their color is purple.
Yeah,
And I just need to point that out.
yeah.
Now the pink one is secondary and they have a purple primary. But
The
like it
I
doesn't
didn't
matter.
really get the Louisville.
It looks like St. Patrick's Day to me. I
Really? I
if you
think the
okay,
green's a little deeper.
no. If you look specifically at one of the shots of like the little side stripe,
Okay.
I think it's supposed to be like
Oh,
you see the St. Patrick's Day vibes now?
yeah.
Okay, thank you. Because when I
I
was
had
editing,
just seen the picture of Bethany in it, and I
yeah,
was like, oh,
no, like
green.
as a whole, I mean, it doesn't make sense because their color is supposed to be mint. I my boss at the Equalizer in his story about them sort of uh guessed that they they had basically been made for a different team that didn't want them, and then so they were just like, what's another team that like kind of wears green and may take this kit?
Slap a Louisville logo on that bitch.
Like, you know,
Oh.
kits are all over the place. Really, the only team that like really stuck solidly to their colors would be Kansas City with the teal kit and
Mm,
Orlando with the purple kit.
yeah.
So,
So, yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to, when we got the access to the video to be able to put it in here, I wanted to look at that and then talk about that experience because by the time this comes out, I'm sure they'll have some stuff from that event and they'll talk about it. And I was like, yeah, we were there. I mean, I was there sitting there wondering what the hell was going to happen. And
we were standing, but yeah,
oh, yeah, that's right. We stood the whole time and then my back hurt.
yeah, my
And then we
arm
went
hurt.
and talked to Scott Parkinson, which we've already talked about in this episode by the time you get to this point. So
Shout
we're
out
gonna,
our favorite bald man.
what'd you say?
Shout out our favorite bald man.
I'm second on your list.
I mean, if it's like a conjoined list and we're like automatically assuming you're not on the list, is what I'll
Okay.
say to make you feel.
I was very offended. All right. We're gonna throw it
You
back
don't
to
have
the
a fun
main.
accent, okay? What can I say?
We're gonna be a real fast team this year. Yeah.
Don't put anything that I don't think you want.
No, that's Gustenis. That's staying.
It's not
So
a horrible one either.
yes. All right. I'm gonna throw it back to the main recording of
Sorry,
this. So
Scott.
see send it to Scott and see, hey man, what did you think of this? About this new anthem, which tough. It's funny, Becca, you've got the sun going and just like the kid does.
I
Very
know.
nice. Um,
Sorry, my window's
no,
open.
no, I'm playing onto it. Um, so there's this new anthem, right? And there's this new kit, and it's just really exciting for me because as I feel like a few people said at this event that Bella and I were at, it feels like we've wiped the slate clean in a way. Like last year with the return to the branding, I feel like was supposed to be that. I feel like now we're actually doing it. Like this is more official to me. Becca, again, I'm sorry I don't have that video for you to look at right now, but just with the jersey, like what did you think about the kit? And I don't know how you feel just with the outlook. Because again, you're in your first new year with the Sounders as your owners and that whole Carlisle group and all that. You've damn Oregon logo ruined my day. God damn it. You've got this new kit. They're gonna have an anthem. Like, I don't know. How are you? Like, what do you think of all of this? Like, not really player wise because we've done that, but like new kit, first new full season with new ownership after all the hoopla with OL. And then like having a dedicated anthem to you that a local artist sat down, um, and included players from the club and the club academy in. Like, I don't know. Again, to me, it feels like this is we're stepping into a new era in a way.
Yeah, I agree, and I really love all the stuff that they're doing. I think the kit is awesome. I really like the colors. I think it's a little bit like um imaginative maybe in terms of like what they're trying to put on it. Like I think you mentioned the sun and like maybe the skyliners. Like it's a little hard to like completely visualize everything I think that they want on there, but I do really like the design and I think the colors go really well together. And yeah, I think just all the those other things that you mentioned, I I think it's kind of building like they're building more of their own team identity. And I think it's really important, obviously, but it's cool to see them like taking more steps to do so. And I'm excited to see the video whenever I do see it, but I'm sure it'll kind of go with the same things. Yeah, so overall, I'm really excited to see the new additions.
Yeah, we'll get you that. And then Bella, close us out here. Let's get this done. What did you take away from it? Because as someone who's there and obviously has known, I'd say you know a good amount about this club. You know, a decent
Maybe.
amount. What do you feel about this whole thing and my thoughts maybe on this being a new era?
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, it's sort of what I'm writing for a piece for the Equalizer, um, is, the investment from the Sounders has been big, and we didn't necessarily see it immediately. And the players have talked about this. Laura has talked about this. You can't just like immediately shove a bunch of money at stuff and fix the problem, right? They have to think long term. And for me, the anthem is just another example of the new ownership properly investing in this club and giving it the investment it deserves. I think the players recognize that as well. I mean, even the sheer amount of people who were at that event who were working for the Reign. I have, I mean, we've been around the Reign so many times when they have like three people working for them. And it's like their staff was ridiculously small. And it's like, how did you even get anything done? And to see them have proper staffing, proper support, proper, you know, everything, I think is just really wonderful. I think Brittany Davis is hilarious and brilliant and wonderful. And I think you couldn't find a better person to write the anthem. And she exemplifies so many of the founding principles of the club, really. And it was just really nice to see that investment come to fruition when we had so many years of OL and sort of the promise of investment that never really came through.
No.
So, you know, it's a new era and it's also the same era. In
Yeah.
some ways, it's like a better funded of the original era, which I think, but I think that's the best outcome. I think, you want to stick to the values that this club was founded on, that Jess and Megan and Lou worked so hard, and Laura, can't forget about Laura, worked so hard
I'll tell her
to
you did.
worked so hard to ingrain in this club and everything they stand for. And to just see them get that investment. I mean, Lou talked about it. It means a lot. Like they have deserved it for a long time and now they're finally getting it, and I'm just happy to see that they are getting it.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to end it. It's great to be back. So we've we've got that. Yeah, when is this there's this friendly and I highly doubt as someone who's watched the UW soccer games in general, I don't think it's gonna be broadcast anywhere. Oh, the 8th. Do I have something? I'll skip it. Oh. Oh, no. I'll be there. Okay. I'll be there. So I'll
Be
be there
there.
sitting there in the cold UW weather and we'll figure it out and be able to get that done. Because last year I would think I was flying back from somewhere, so I couldn't be there. I just had a photographer out there. So that'll be fun. We talk about like the club getting better funded, and then they're gonna go play on this terrible quality field at UW. Like I wish UW got an upgrade. It's a bad soccer field.
Yeah, but
Like,
the ticket money goes towards supporting UW women's soccer and helping them fund their preseason trip. So we
yes.
support
So go there.
collegiate women's soccer clubs when we can.
I'll be there. So, all right. Till we see you, I imagine we'd be back next week. Maybe we do some more. We'll figure it out timing wise.
We don't run
Um,
this.
hmm?
We don't run this, you do.
Oh yeah, that's crazy. Well, anyway, speaking of which, till we see you next time. Take care of yourselves. Be well. Do whatever you can to make today a great day.
Hey, Charles.
Hey, Jen.
Hey, where are you going to watch all the away games for Seattle Reign FC this year?
Away games. Well, since Rough and Tumble is the home of Circling Seattle Sports, I was thinking of coming here if that's okay with you.
I think that makes a lot of sense. See y'all here.